Om Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharma swarupini avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadmi Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu Namasri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Surya Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamini Tapaharini Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. So in the last class we were looking at this sloka. Najayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyah ajo nitya sashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. Sri Krishna says, the self has neither birth nor death. Najayate mriyate va kadachit. Nayam bhutva bhavita vanabhuya. Nor does it cease to be, having been in existence before, he has always been in existence. So there is no question of his ever being non-existent. So he does not ever cease to be. He is aja, is unborn, nitya, eternal, shashvata, permanent. Purana is ancient, and he does not die. He is never killed when the body is killed. So it's a very important sloka. There are so many ideas in that. So what is it that which is really undying? What is it that is never unborn? Is always is unborn, is never born. So according to this Advaita Vedanta, there's only one unitary consciousness called Brahman or Atman. And there's nothing apart from that. Any other limitation which we think of in terms of our body, our association, our mind, and then the various descriptions of ourselves, they're all limitations imposed upon the Atman or the consciousness or oneness or self, which are all truly not there. It's all of a temporary nature and so on and so forth. Of course, in a very small way, some of these things are always uh, uh, felt by us, posing the feeling that I am. Whenever you experience, the experiences and come and go. You see this, you see that, you see something else, you hear this, you hear that, you feel this, you feel that. But the same I am seeing, I am hearing, I am feeling, is always there. When I was a child, this I was there. In the youth, the I was there. In the old age, the I is there. So there is no question or never any experience which one has without the I, is it not? When the body dies also, till the last moment that I is there. What happens beyond that, we do not know, but the Shastras, our scriptures, they all say that then the self takes a new body and again it goes on. So, there is never this break or any, what you call, any gap in this feeling of I-ness. This is, if you understand it truly, that is the real nature of the self. In fact, that is self itself. So, it has always been there. Not only that, in the whole existence, wherever we turn our eyes, whatever we see, hear, everything, all that there's only that one I that's giving rise to all these innumerable millions and billions of varied experiences and so on and so forth. In you also it is there, in X is also, in Y is also, in me also, everywhere. It's the same I manifesting through billions and billions of bodies and other animate and inanimate objects, everything. So that's the core, that's the essence, that's everything. So obviously, no one has experienced an experience without I. So it has always been there and it will always be there. What happens when the body goes? We do not know. Our experience in this body stops with this body. Then, according to Shastras, the self goes and takes birth in another body. Again, the experiences continue. So, it's always there. And there was never a time when it was not there. And not only that, it is nitya, eternal, undying, and then it is not killed when the body is killed. So as we just began last time, the idea of nitya, eternal. See, all these philosophy, all these ideas, they should give meaning to our life. We should be able to understand what is this, what is the benefit of knowing this, what is the benefit of this understanding. Supposing we understand that we are of the nature of eternal, undying, permanent, then anything that happens to this body, to this mind, all that our associations, they don't bother us beyond a point. Is it not? If you actually, even supposing you have some bodily difficulty, maybe some pain, some sprain, or something like that. Right at that time, you are sitting somewhere and something very interesting comes up in the TV, or someone very close to you comes up. Next 1 hour, you're completely engrossed in watching or in discussion or this or that. Where was the pain? Where was it? Did it go away? The moment the person goes away or the moment the show ends, again the pain manifests. So, these are all our experiences are highly conditioned. Only when the senses, the sense objects, the mind, then the buddhi, and behind that the Atman. When all these are all associated, then only the experience takes place. So all these experiences, all these objects, senses, the mind, the buddhi, the body, they are all anitya only, non-permanent. Otherwise, if that be so, supposing if you have pain, then you must feel the pain. Now, when somebody comes also, it should be there. So, unless the mind attaches itself to that part of the body, then there is no pain at all. So, but what happens, in the case of normal human beings, we don't have the capacity to withdraw ourselves. Only extraneous circumstances over which we have no control. When they come, achanak kuch hua, main bhul gaya. But it's possible when we constantly think about the eternal nature of the self, it's possible even to get over this pain, suffering, etc. willfully. That's why we have many people have seen that in our own tradition. Swami Turiyanandaji, a huge carbuncle, huge boil of a huge size on his back, was to be operated upon. Simply, the doctor said, no, it will require anesthesia. It will happen for 2-3 hours. No need. You inform me, I will withdraw the mind. He simply withdrew his mind, and they could do such a huge operation without any anesthesia. How was it possible? So, it is possible to go to such a state of mind where you are not really affected by what is happening to your body. And such a mind is absolutely under control. It's not bothered, it is not affected, it doesn't uh, become completely blown away by any happening, good or bad, happiness or suffering. See, these are all wonderful states of existence worthy of acquiring, is it not? Otherwise, what's the use of all that? Why should I get these ideas? Why should I understand them? How are they going to help me? Supposing we understand that yes, this body is of an impermanent nature, and that understanding becomes very deep rooted, then it's very easy to forget pain, to suffering, sorrow, etc. Then will not life be much more meaningful, much more peaceful? That is why all these ideas are necessary. Not that they are just simply to be uh, studied as some philosophy or something which has no relation to life. They are deeply related to life. That's why, as we just began the discussion last time, in any deep study of Vedanta, because any deep study of Vedanta is not only just studying the text, and through that study to realize that ultimate goal, what that Vedanta truth stands for, what it is. And they prescribe various disciplines. The first and foremost is Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka, the discrimination between what is Nitya and what is Anitya, what is permanent and what is non permanent. So, if you do that, you will find that our life is very, very wonderful, because when you start doing this Nitya Nitya Viveka, supposing you go through various experiences, and at the end of the day, at night, supposing you sit and try to think what all I did throughout the day, how much of it was related to things which are anitya or impermanent, how much of it are things related to nitya or permanent. You will hardly find one or two instances where we thought of something as permanent, or we try to associate with something permanent. Otherwise, 99.99% of our actions are all spent in dealing with anitya. Is not such a life worthless and useless? Because they come, they go, you acquire property, you sell it, you gain or you lose, again it's broken, it is destroyed, again you acquire. These things keep on happening day and night. 60 years, 70 years. A little while ago, somebody had come. She has married and settled a daughter and a son, etc. And her husband died maybe recently, a month or so ago, at the age of 65. And she broke down saying that, "Oh, Swamiji, I have been so dutiful. I have looked after all of them. Why did it happen?" I said, "What is there so great about it? We looking after, anyone looking after his or her own family. That's what everybody is expected to do. It's not something to be extraordinarily proud of. Those who don't do it, they are not even worthy of being considered human beings. But have you thought of anything beyond that? If you don't do it, obviously that's how we have to suffer now. Because no, by doing all that, I asked, supposing your husband had lived for 5 more years, what else would have done you would have done in those 5 years? Again, daily 3 times, early morning, maybe coffee or tea, then breakfast, then lunch, then dinner, and going out once in a way, or then seeing something, some picture, or buying something, or selling something, some sari or some clothes. What would you have done differently? Why do you think that those additional 5 years would have brought you great happiness or much more worthy or value addition to your life? The person had no answer. Because, you see, that's what we do day after day, year after year. And we think that we are living a great life. No, not at all. Because all the time, if you spend only in dealing with things which are unreal or impermanent, there is no value addition. Supposing you keep on building castles in the sand, one after another, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even 100 castles. Has it any value? It all be swept away. Even if you build buildings on this earth, real buildings also, more or less only a better version of building castles on sand. Because people build castles in the air also, it's even much more funny. So, all our imagination, all our participation, all our involvement, where is it leading to us? So, unless we understand the real nature of life, our own real inner nature, the sorrow and suffering, and thinking that though I am killing relatives, Arjuna was with that. He thought that he is a limited entity as one of the Pandavas. So, he is a great warrior, he is capable of killing others. So, what would happen if I kill all those people? No, anyway, they would have died. Even if you don't kill, under some other reason, they would have died. But at least, yeah, as it said, as a Kshatriya, if you do your Swadharma, if they also do their Swadharma, then that's the life worthy of doing. Because anyway, life is going to an end. This body is going to an end. But the Atman or the self, the indweller, That's not going to die at all. So it's going to take some other body, some other form. So why should you think about that? So as long as, so how are we ultimately, the question boils down to that. Even if you think of something ultimate, even if you think of something which is of eternal or permanent nature, how are we to live in this world? Are we to only think about that, oh, it's all impermanent, it's all impermanent? No, one may do one's duty, one may participate, one may do all that, but one should not get blown away by all that. Some success, some joy, some promotion, some money, some car, some gift, something. Yes, one can use it, but use it in such a way so as to not to bring terrible attachments. Oh, this gift, oh, this scarf, this shawl, this shirt, this something, this car, this house. Yes, is as good as any other house. I can go elsewhere. How people simply die simply because, oh, that house I did so much, no one recognized. Oh, that is my house. They are not allowing me to even come there. People die for such causes. How immature it is. Life can be led much better. So that's why it says, think about that which is eternal. Try to find out what's your true nature. Who are you? Who is this I? Is constantly there as witness, seeing you right through your life, all through your life. From the moment awareness develops in you till the last moment, the same I, which is unchanging. This much we see clearly. Not only that, even if you go a little further, try to understand what is called this avastatriya, three avastas, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. A very famous uh, discussion taken up in all Vedanta studies. We are there in Jagrat, all our senses are there. We see, we hear, we touch everything. We are experiencing. We think that it's all. Is it due to the eyes? Is it due to the ears? Is it due to your nose? Is it due to other indriyas? No. Sometimes someone comes and sits in front of you for 20 minutes, you don't even recognize. Your eyes are open. What happened? What happened? The person asked, oh, acha, acha. My mind was elsewhere. So, the indriyas have to, that's what he says, Mastras Pashas Kaunteya Sitoshna Sukadukada. When the indriyas come in contact with the sense objects, senses come to sense objects, then that impression is taken to the mind, and the mind analyzes, then it places before the buddhi, then buddhi looks at it, and finally the buddhi which is functioning because of the light of the Atman, then it just means it's such and such. So that's how experiences happen in the waking state. So at least we have all the, then in the dream, much more wonderful experiences happen. This moment you are here, suddenly you are going to America, you are going to the even moon, you are going to such places, Disneyland, Disney World, ever so many things. All that, where are the senses? Where are the indriyas? Neither the indriyas nor the sense objects. But still, you have great experience. In the absence of it's the mind alone takes over the functions of the indriyas, and again through buddhi, all those. When you get up, oh, it was all there, nothing, nothing, nothing. Now it's only a dream. Not only that, when you go beyond that, in deep sleep also, there is an experience. What is that experience? It's the experience of the absence of experience. In dream, in deep sleep, it is not absolute absence of experience. It's experience of the absence. Nothing is experience in that. That when you wake up, you recollect seeing that I slept wonderfully well. So that I was there even during the deep sleep. So in all these states, whether it's waking or dreaming or deep sleep and all that, the I, the awareness, that consciousness, that witness is always there. That is undying. That's eternal. So even if this body goes, it goes to another body. Or even what happens also, that need not worry us at all. We know that this is something which cannot be destroyed. Otherwise, when my childhood died, that also should have died with that body, with those millions of cells. Similarly, in my youth, that it has gone beyond that. It's now in my old age also, then even beyond old age also, they say, our Shastras say, the great people who have experienced, they say, it was all there, it's going to be there. So why should I worry? So what he says, so know that it's indestructible and you do your duty. Then he says, Veda avinashinam nityam eyenam ajam avyayam katam sa purusha partha kangateti hantikam. You know, when you know this self as eternal, undying, birthless, deathless, indestructible, all that is in the earlier slokas that was discussed, once you know that, once you understand that, where is the question? You know, who can kill whom in that condition? Who, how and whom can he kill and whom can he cause to be killed? Neither can the self kill anybody, nor can it cause anything to be killed, because the self is eternal, it is undying, it is nitya. So, the way is through this idea of discrimination, understanding what is the real nature of life, real nature of self, whether we are continuing permanently this way. So, if so, what happens when such ideas come to the mind, when you start understanding them? The quality of life improves greatly. Does it mean that a person who has had the knowledge of the self, a Brahmagyani, will not eat or will not sleep, will not do anything? He will do all that. But none of those things will bind him. See, for example, if we cannot eat for one time or even twice, we are terribly hungry, unbearable. Whatever is possible, you come and eat and this and that. But if you know the real nature, and if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't come, it's coming. Even 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, doesn't matter. Because the body will never possess you. The body will never possess your mind and make it demand. It has got to be done at any cost. No. Similarly with sleep, with all the necessities, because we are so much conditioned by this idea of body, we need so much of sleep, so much of rest, so much of food, so much of other comforts. But if it's not there, if you know that really that you are that undying self, when that completely permeates your personality, your mind, your buddhi are full of that and that only, then nothing in this world can ever touch you. Whether it's, that's why he says, Sita Ushna Sukha Dukkha, that brings all those Sita Ushna Sukha Dukkha, all that because of the sense and the sense objects. Once you go beyond that, once you go beyond the idea you are the body, then none of these things will touch you at all. That's why he says in that condition, whether the body called Drona, whether the body called Bhishma, whether it lives or dies, it drops dead by your arrow or somebody's arrow or by some natural cause. What does it matter? The one, the Antaryamin, the one within that self, is it going to die? No. So once you know that nature, then you know clearly it can neither be killed nor would it cause anything to be killed. So whatever Arjuna is expected to do is only to function according to his Swadharma and fight in the battle. He may win or he may lose, doesn't matter. His duty is to do his Swadharma. Then, he explains very beautifully. Vasamsi Gita Jirnani Yata Vihaya Navani Grinnati Naroparani Tata Sharirani Vihaya Jirnani Anyani Sanyati Navani Dehi. Just as a person, Vasamsi Jirnani Yata Vihaya Navani Grinnati, gives up old garments, Vasamsi, can become Jirna, old, and not fit for use anymore. Yata Vihaya, giving up, Navani Grinnati, takes up new one. So the embodied self, Tata Sharirani Vihaya Jirnani, Anyani Sanyati Navani Dehi. The embodied self abandons decrepit and old bodies and assumes new one. So this is what is called death. Just as you are wearing a set of clothes, you like them so much, they're worthy possessions. Maybe it was birthday's gift given by your dearest friend or your parents or whatever it is. But when it becomes old, When it's become torn, are you going to keep it? Oh no, it was given my mother, my father, my dearest. I have to only to wear that, even if it is torn. You will say he is a mad person wearing torn clothes. He's earning lakhs, but he's such a stingy person. He's only wearing. So we give up. Yes, it was nice, it was good, it was for a purpose. That's over. Now we give it up. Now we put on new clothes. So, do you really weep? Are you terribly affected by sorrow and suffering? Oh, I have to give up all these clothes. So he says, Sri Krishna says, in the same way, the Atman gives up the body when it's no longer useful, when it's no longer purposeful, and takes up a new body. So, we all know the Hindu ideas of rebirth bring certain karmas along with that, the karma phalas. To work out that, we need a body. So, when the body is no longer able to work out all that, then in the meanwhile, we acquire new karmas. Then the body is given up and the self takes a new body. So, this idea is very, very nice, but some might ask, oh, what about very young people dying? Not It's not that all those who die are very old or totally incapacitated, decrepit and all that. जो कम उम्र में मर जाती हैं उनकी क्या बात? What do you say about them? Is it they also belong to their Vasangsi Jirnani category? Are they also old and worn out? Why are they given up? You see, this is a question. It's not, we cannot really answer. Sometimes, you know, it might be a new cloth, a new shirt you might have purchased from somewhere. Somebody must have given you. Then suddenly, it tears in such a way that you cannot repair it. So some hole or some area and there you can, do the repair, whatever it is, do some donning, and then supposing it is torn in such a way or such a stain, some coffee or something indelible that which cannot be removed, indelible stain is created. We give it up. Oh, only yesterday it was given. It's a new shirt, but it's useless because it can no longer, do the function of, being used by me. I am working in a decent office. I cannot put on the shirt and go. Don't we give up? Do you always change only when the cloth is extremely old and torn to pieces and all that? Or sometimes you had ordered something, somebody had purchased with great love and all that. In front of them you tried, but you find it's extremely uncomfortable to wear it. Maybe two sizes shorter than you were. The person had remembered your old times when you were lean and thin and broad, but now you're put on much more weight. Then do you think still you will somehow put on that? No, chodo. It's not possible to wear it. Of course, he gave it with love, but it have asked me my size. I'm not able to use it. In the same way, the self might find some of the bodies are not fit for the functions for which it came, like a wrong size cloth or a cloth suddenly developing a stain or something like that. So the body, the self came with that body. It did also maybe stayed for some time, 1 day, 1 year, 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. But then it found that this body can no longer be used to discharge those functions. And also, in some cases, it might be as a tremendous internal evolution when there is no longer any need for a body. Even to Sri Ramakrishna, one youngster came and with eyes full of tears took leave of him. I'm no longer going to live. I have understood. Sri Ramakrishna, something like that, remarked that his karma is over. Body is no longer required. His body is here only to work out our karmas. Supposing we understand our true nature and we start evolving spiritually, it can happen. If they were great, Sri Ramakrishna lived only for 50 years, Swamiji hardly for 40 years. So, it's not necessary all bodies have to follow the same path. The self within the body has different functions. So, if there is an evolution, the body can be dropped off. When it's no longer necessary, when there is total freedom from the being embodied itself, or for the karmas that are left to be executed, that are being carried forward, this body is no longer suitable. A new body is necessary. That can also be reason where there's a new birth. So, the point is, when this body is no longer useful, it is discarded. Just as when a cloth is no longer useful, it may not be useful from various angles. Maybe it has lost its color, its shade, it has become torn out, it has become. Similarly, the body might be old, decrepit, full of disease, or maybe young, but some other reason, not enough to carry forward all the samskaras, various reasons. So there can be a dissociation, and there is a new body, just as we take a new cloth. So it takes, so obviously, there is nothing to be grieved about. There's nothing to be extremely sorrowful or terribly upset about it. Yes, it has happened. So what? You can go forward. So Sri Krishna is trying to say all this because don't think that you are going to do all that. You are nobody to decide how long the body Bhishma should stay, or how long the body Drona should stay. Now, ultimately, it so happened he did not kill either Drona or Bhishma. They were killed by somebody else. He was unnecessarily thinking, how can I kill my acharyas, my elders like Bhishma and Drona? He did not have to kill somebody else killed. It was so designed. So don't think that you are the doer. You are discharging your duty. In the process, yes, all these things might happen. Somebody dying, somebody getting injured, somebody all that. But that doesn't matter at all. Even if you are not doing it, somebody else will do it in some other way and at some other time. So as long as you are concerned, you do what is your duty without being bothered, knowing fully well that the self is of an eternal nature. It cannot be destroyed. It doesn't undergo all that. Then you live a great life. Then, not only that, he says in various ways, going to impress upon him, Nainam chindanti shastrani, Nainam dahati pavakaha, Nachainam kledayan tapo, Asosheti marutaha. The weapons cannot cleave him. The self is such like that. It's a weapons, you take the weapons to cut other things to pieces. So, if there is only one unitary consciousness, there's nothing apart from that one. So there is no question of that being cut. What we are cutting is only the body, the physical objects, whatever we see external to us, what is available as a dual form, as a second form. Is it not? Does the instrument, does it cut it itself? No, it cuts only another object. Because there is a duality, it's a second object, you can use that forcibly to cut it. But if there is only one, that instrument alone, what will it cut? So if there is only one unitary consciousness, no second entity, where's the question of that being cut? So weapons cannot cut it. Similarly, Nainam dahati pavaka, fire cannot burn it. It's fireproof. Because again the same thing. Fire can burn only, in fact, there are things which are non-combustible. Supposing there is an iron piece, can fire burn it? No. So even in this world, we find there are many things which fire cannot burn. Even in this world, we find there are things which weapons cannot cut. But then this is something because there is no second entity. Fire can burn only if there is an object in front of it. There's nothing else. There's only fire. There's only one thing. Everywhere there's only one fire, no second entity. Then what will it burn? Will it burn itself? So all these things come out because of the idea of duality. Second thing, something which is beyond, apart from what's visible, what is seen. So only then all these things will operate, because this self is one unitary whole, one consciousness. Nothing else is there apart from it. So it's not capable of burning anything. Similarly, Nachinam kledenti apo. It cannot be uh, it cannot be made wet by water. Water cannot wet it. Again, the same question. Because there is only one self. It's only one, there's nothing else. So there's no question of that being wet by water. And then, the Sosheti Martha. air does not dry. See, these are the, see, basically, we talk of these uh, five panchabhutas, five elements, fire, water, air, like that. So, he's seeking all that. These are the things which impinge upon the objects of the world, fire, water, air, and then the weapons, etc. So, all these things do not even touch it because it is beyond all that. There's only one, there is no second entity. A fire can burn only if there is an object in front of it. There's nothing, there is only one self which is permeating the entire existence. There's nothing apart from that. In fact, there's nothing called existence and self. There's only one, that is self. Then where's the question of, so the complete idea of oneness or the unitary consciousness, awareness, that is being spoken of by Sri Krishna. To say that, don't think that the indestructible nature of this Atman, in various ways he's saying. First he said it's not subject to birth, death, etc., old age. And not only that, even you see human beings which are, where they are associated with this Atman, so to say. We recognize them. So hitting them, cutting them, drying them, wetting them is not wetting the Atman in any way or destroying the Atman in any way. His body may be burnt by fire, but not the Atman within. That means Atman knows that this body's time is over, it goes to a new body. So all that can happen only to things which are of an impermanent nature, which are of anitya. That which is nitya, that which is eternal, how can it be ever cut or dried or wetted or whatever it is? None of those things are applicable. Again, through this look also, Sri Krishna is trying to impress upon the undying or the eternal nature of the Atman. So that you are saying, you think that you use astras and shastras to destroy Drona, Bhishma, and all that. You're not going to destroy the self or the Atman. You are going, at best, you can only destroy the body called Drona, the body called Bhishma. It's got nothing to do with the inner self. They will remain. They will be eternal because from this body, they will go to another body and the journey would continue. So why are you bothered? Not really says, Achedyoyam, Adahyoyam, Akledyo, Asoshayevacha, Nityaha, Sarvagata, Stanu, Achaloyam, Sanatana. Again, Achedya, it cannot be cut. Adahya, it cannot be burnt. And then can neither be wetted. Again, the previous sloka almost is written. Nor can be dried. Asosya. Not only by the weapons or the water or fire or air. Anything you put it, no element can touch them. Nothing can cut. It's not cut. It's not subject to destruction, cutting or drying or wetting. All those functions, none of which are applicable to, because it is always there. It is eternal. It is nitya. It is eternal. Sarvagata. That's the most. It's all pervading. You cannot show a place where self is not there. There's nothing called place and self. There's only self. There's only self which is all pervading, which is everywhere, which is sarvagata. And then, sthanu, immovable, achaloyam is motionless, sanatana is there forever. It's one of the very most profound slokas where it talks of all that. See, this is nature. It is achala. Because, how chala is possible? Only when you have two places. You are here, you want to go there. There's nothing like two places at all. There's only one. The whole homogeneous. Where will you go from here to there? Supposing the whole thing you call as ashrama, maybe some 1,000 miles. You will be always in the ashrama, whether here or there or everywhere. Similarly, there is only one self pervading the entire universe. There's no question of anything else apart from that. So it cannot go. It's motionless. It is sthanu. It is immovable. And it is sanatana. It is the same forever. There is no change. Because when you are a child, when you are a young person, in your youth, in your middle age, in your old age, same I, not the ego I. Ego is anger, jealousy, it has other problems, karma, krodha, everything. But this I-ness, this witness, this eternal awareness, that's always there without any change. It's not subject to any change at all. So we'll take up in the next week. Of course, this will be shown to you live. You can join online because I won't be there physically. Just now I have to rush to Rishikesh. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Chalo. So then we will. Next week also it has to be done the same way only. Go. Thank you. Now I have to go back. Rush.